If you need a break after 45 minutes, don't get married, right? If you've been dating someone for a while and you sit around and you say, what does my perfect day look like? If that person's not involved in your perfect day, you're not going to have a great marriage. The person I should date. How do you decide who you should date? What does that process look like? Other than your faith and your decision to follow Jesus, this is the most important question you'll ever ask. Number one quality, integrity. Doing the right thing regardless of who's watching. Do what you say you're going to do. Is purity work into this? Doing the right thing when no one else is watching, like you get back to someone's apartment and no one else is there, they don't have a roommate, hormones are raging. How does that person handle themselves? Do they act honorably? Do they act like a Christian would act? Or do they begin to act like someone in the world would act? Doing what they said they were going to do. If they say, I'm going to take you out next weekend, and then last minute they canceled their plans. Okay, that may happen once. There's extenuating circumstances, but what if they say we're going to go out again and then last minute they cancel on you, or they change their mind, or they don't follow through with things that they say they're going to do? That should be, wait a minute, am I signing up for a life like this? Is that who you are? Or are these just weird coincidences? If it happens more than once or twice, probably not a coincidence. They're probably not someone who makes a habit of keeping their word. Integrity, it works into leadership, it works into ethics, it works into dating. How do they act when no one else is watching? Are they the same person with you when you're by yourselves than they are when they're in a group of people? And the Bible, no surprise, says a lot about integrity. Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his ways crooked will be found out. The righteous who walks in his integrity, blessed are his children after him. God rewards you for living a life of integrity, and then chances are much higher that you're going to raise your children to do the right thing if you do the right thing. Number two, it may surprise you that faith and values is not number one, that integrity comes before faith and values. What good is their quote-unquote faith if it's not real? In fact, Jesus had a lot to say about that with the Pharisees. These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. You may be really impressed with someone that you meet at church because they seem very spiritual and they're always there and they answer questions in Bible study and they just seem like a really spiritual person, but then you find out later on it's all a game. It's not real. That's an integrity issue. And a lack of integrity is creating a fake, false faith. But if their integrity is in place, their faith more than likely is going to stay in step with it. When you're dating, you need to find someone whose faith is as strong, if not stronger, than yours. Marriage is not designed to be a mission field. That was never the purpose for marriage. Are there stories of a believer who started dating an unbeliever and that unbeliever became a believer and they had a wonderful Christian marriage? Yes. Praise God when that happens. But most of the time, that's not how it works. Most of the time, the unbeliever has a stronger influence on the believer, and that believer either becomes an unbeliever or loses their passion in believing, and they aren't as involved in the church or with their faith as they used to be. Marriage was not designed to be a mission field. So when you're considering someone that you want to date and eventually marry, you want to find someone who is at least on equal footing with you spiritually, and better than that, someone who's stronger than you are so they can lead you closer to Jesus. If that's not who they are, you are taking a big, big risk. Number three, compatibility. You need to enjoy hanging out with them. If you don't enjoy hanging out with them, you probably don't need to be dating. Do you share the same interest? You need to. You don't need to be exactly the same. You know, we often say opposites attract to a certain extent. Eventually, opposites stop attracting and they start repelling. You need to share the same interest or the excitement of that relationship will eventually fade. And rather than eventually, I'd probably say quickly. Do you enjoy spending time together? Like before you become spouses, you need to be really good friends. Do you enjoy each other's company? If you're just getting together because you're physically attracted to one another, that's not going to work. Do you share the same goals? Do you want the same things? That's a really important thing to find out. If one person wants to really focus on their career and the other person wants to focus on the home, that seems like that would be a pretty good match, maybe. Maybe both of you are like, I really want to focus on my career and I'm going to do whatever it takes to succeed in my career. Well, two people doing everything they can to succeed in their career, that's not sustainable. Let me clarify here. Neither person's wrong. Like if you don't feel like I just talk to the ladies, if you're a lady and you feel, I don't really want to be the lady at the house all the time, you're not wrong. If you want to pursue your career, that's your choice. And if you're the lady saying, I really don't want a career, I want to say, you're not wrong either. Like neither one of you is wrong. There's not a biblical mandate for what you have to do, but make sure that you're sharing the same goals. Because if you don't share them now, you probably never will. Right? If you can't get this right when you're trying to impress each other, once you're no longer is concerned about impressing each other, you're definitely not going to get it right then. Is daily conversation easy or hard? You know that pretty early on in the relationship. Like, is this just natural? Can we talk about anything? Or does it feel like we're just struggling to communicate, and when we're done communicating, I'm exhausted because I feel like I've been having to carry this on my back for 45 minutes, and man, I need a break. If you need a break after 45 minutes, don't get married, right? When you think of your perfect day, are they in it? Do some real personal inventory here. If you've been dating someone for a while and you sit around and you say, what does my perfect day look like? If that person's not involved in your perfect day, you're not going to have a great marriage. You're just not. The person you marry should be the person that you can't imagine spending your life without. Quality number 4. I know you're wondering, does this matter? Yes, it matters. You need to be physically attracted to this person. God created you that way. God created men and women that way. There needs to be some type of physical attraction. God wants you to desire your spouse one day, and He wants for your spouse to desire you. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. That's not just true about women. Obviously, men's appearance changes. But here's something that you'll learn as you age, and once you get married, the reasons you're attracted to your spouse, that also changes. When you're young and single, you're attracted for physical reasons, right? But then life happens and the dad bod takes over and you have children and that changes. But then women start saying, my husband is the most attractive to me, not when he's, we're going swimming or working out or whatever, when he's playing with the children in the front yard. That's when he's the most attractive. And men say that about women. It changes when they're most attractive. It's not what it was when I was 21. There's something deeper there. There's something with more meaning there. And if your only concern in your 20s while you're dating is, are they physically attractive to me? That is a false rubric that time will rob and time will change. And you'll learn that if they have integrity and if they have strong values and a strong faith, and if I can't imagine spending any day without them, if they're compatible with me, the physical attraction, it's a part of all those things. Now, please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. In the beginning, you need to be physically attracted to them. You do. But that changes over time. It doesn't lessen, it changes. Then how do I find this person? If I'm looking for a person of integrity, if I'm looking for a person with strong faith and values, if I'm looking for someone that's compatible with me and someone I'm physically attracted to, how do I find this person? I can't just make them out of thin air. Where are they? Don't look for Beverly Hills mansion in the Bronx. What do I mean by that? If you have high standards, don't dilute your standards. Just start looking in the right places where those people are going to be. You would not try to buy a Beverly Hills mansion in the Bronx because that Beverly Hills mansion doesn't exist there. It's not where that Beverly Hills mansion is planted. It's not where it's built. If you're looking for a person of high spiritual caliber to date, they're not going to be every place where the world looks. Narrow your search. The very best place you can meet someone is at church. Realize if I'm looking for a person with integrity and faith and values, I probably need to go to a place where integrity, faith, and values are prioritized. Be patient. Good things come to those who wait, and good things take time. If you haven't found them yet, doesn't mean you won't. Don't panic. Don't think it's never going to happen to me. It will. Ask someone out on a date. If you get asked out on a date, go on a date. If it doesn't work, you'll know. Both of you will know. But that's the only way to find out. Don't settle. You have value. You have worth. And please, for your own sake and for the other person's sake and for your own mental sanity, if you know it's not a good fit, stop dating them. It's not good for you. It's not good for them. You're wasting time. You have heartache. You have stress. Dating is meant to see if it can lead to a marriage. You don't want to be a professional dater. If it's not working out, but stop trying to force something that's not working. Don't settle. And remember who you are. You're a child of God. Remember what you have to offer. You may not be dating someone right now if you're a guy, but you're preparing, and one day you're going to be an incredible husband. And ladies, same thing. One day you're going to be an incredible wife. Hasn't happened yet, but it will. Don't forget that. Because when you start forgetting that, you start lowering your standards and you bring on a whole other set of problems in your life you really don't want.